Welcome to One Word a Day. I'm Sophie, your pilot into the universe of Chinese. And let's continue our journey exploring Paleolithic characters. And when we say Paleolithic, it's based on our understanding of what that culture in that era of human development, technological development would involve, what kind of concepts would humans create back then. So, 公 as as if as 刀 is a food processing, right? A cutting knife, or butchering knife. So it's to cut the proteins or probably branches or cut up the vegetables. In any case, knives is essential to survival, right? Even today. And 弓 bow is a long range. Um, it could be weaponry if we humans use against another human, but it can be used as a hunting tool as well. That's mostly applied on things that are flying or running quickly, that you have no way, humans with our two legs and our gravity earthbound, that have no way to capture birds on the sky or things that are running with four legs, right? So bow became our extension of our physical limitation. And I find it is amazing that this bow probably was invented through different cultures. And smart people from different cultures invented this thing so that we can extend the range of and the scope of the type of proteins. Well, I simply call them proteins. It's probably irrespective of the things we kill for protein food, which are birds or beasts that are living their life, but we're part of the ecosystem, and so we need food, humans. So both became this link between humans to a wider range of food categories. So at the beginning, we talked about net, right? Trapping is an easy one. That's passive hunting. And the bow is probably the most effective and active hunting tool before the invention of guns, right? So bow was the gun back then. All right, so Chinese, how we describe bow. And you can see the simplified Chinese, which is the top here that you can type if you download um, the word entry or language setting. This is simplified Chinese. You're going to type gong and choose the flat tone, and then you can get this character, okay? Magic. And then bottom is I screenshot, crop it out there to show what I call mid history. So basically, you would say Chinese existed for 3 or 4 thousand years, as far as we can tell by archaeology discovery. Then about 2,000 years ago, Xu Chen, a scholar, made this dictionary, and this is from that dictionary. Okay, so somebody recorded Gong 2,000 years ago as this, and you can see almost the same, slightly different, and basically it's imitating the look of how a bow would look like, so that it can has the biggest tension creation and therefore shoot the arrow out with the most, I guess, accuracy as well as speed. So I guess this is, we don't need to explain into more. If you ever tried archery, it will be self-explanatory that Chinese would capture a bow with this zigzag lines. That would make sense. Okay, expressions. 杯弓蛇影. We have four characters here, four different things. 杯 is a cup, and 弓 is the bow, right? 蛇影, snake reflection. Here, Chinese is talking about post-traumatic syndrome, PTSD, that apparently this is somebody who got bitten or scared by a snake before. That even drinking from a cup, see the reflection of the bow hanging on the wall, would trigger that person to have a knee-jerk reaction as if it's seeing a snake in the cup, even if it's unlikely the place to see your snake in your cup, in your drink. But because of the shape of the bow, kind of zigzagging, right? Kind of like how a snake slithering through space, right? And so that's the trigger. And it shows once you got bitten or harmed, probably took some time to recover, probably almost get a near death experience. That's going to be branded into your, I guess, even subconscious, self-protective mechanism that sometimes would trigger us into irrational response to things that are not the same but looks the same, but the response is so quick, it outpower or outspeed our frontal cortex. That's 杯弓蛇影. Then we have 飞鸟尽，良弓藏. As you can see, 6 characters and put a space in between because these are 2 phrases. Even just 6 characters, it says a lot. We're saying 飞鸟, the flying birds. Okay, that's a given because I guess birds can perch, can nest, can also fly. So I almost want to say, okay, birds, of course, they fly. No, fly is only one of the ways of existing for birds. So I guess it's necessary to use a flying bird in there because only when birds are flying, exposed in the sky, and then the hunters, the archer can see the bird, can shoot the bird. If the bird is in a nest or the bird is perching somewhere, it may not be as noticeable or vulnerable to the hunter. So that's why 飞鸟 and 进 is gone. So when the flying birds are gone, probably it's a winter time when the birds are migrated to the south. And then that's when 良弓藏, the nice bow, the good quality bow, 藏 got stored, put away, tucked away. So here, even if it was talking about the bird and the bow hunting the bird, we're talking about this seasonal behavior. Nothing wrong with it, right? But of course, Chinese, we don't create an expression just for that scenery. We extend it to human societal behavior. So in this case, 飞鸟尽, 飞鸟 is your target, your goal. When your goal is gone, as if they're migrating somewhere else, right? No longer you have a target in the sky to hunt for, to shoot for. That's when your skill to hunt the bird. We're not just talking about 2 sets. Well, it could be 2 sets, but the bow, the user of the bow also don't get to use the bow anymore. That skill set got put away, got, rusted. So here we're talking about when the need to use it is gone, then the skill to fulfill this need is going to be wasted, going to be put away. Simply because, well, we humans, we, I guess, stand up to the challenge of the occasions. When the occasions are gone, our, all of us, our nerve system, our knowledge, our skill sets, corresponding or in application in that challenge or demanding situation is gone. So this gives you a lot of, knowledge of like in good times, in easy, peaceful times, lots of skills related to survival, related to, saving for rainy days. When it's no longer rain, why you save? It's harder to conceptualize, to prepare ourselves for more challenging times. So this Chinese expression already put it out there to tell you we habitually only are as strong as our environment to be. When we don't need to hunt birds anymore, we lose that skill of hunting using arrows to shoot accurately. So that says a lot, still apply today. Okay, 弯弓射大雕 is probably from, yes, it's from Mao, the founding father of the current Chinese regime. And he was a part-time poet, at least because he was totally idolized back then. So whatever he write became the Chinese Bible back then. Okay, everybody read back to back, cover to cover, multiple times. That level of, idolization. And then in one of his poems, he was talking about Genghis Khan. And of course, I mean, he was ruler and he probably modeled himself and probably would fantasize himself to compare himself to Genghis Khan. Okay. I mean, now we're several decades later, we can do comparison, like no comparison, right? But in his poem, he brought up that historical figure that conquers Eurasia, like wipe out many. I mean, I'm not saying it's the brutality and all that, yeah. But just by being able to become a conqueror, and has such an influential, like genetically, right? Like percentage, a very high percentage of population, the global wise, from him. And Mao depict him by using this action word of 弯弓射大雕. You bend the bow, which is you're pulling the bow to such extent that you distort the bow, meaning you're really muscle power. You have that, right? And 射大雕, you shoot. Shoot is the action of shooting the arrow. And what's your object? The 大雕 is the Chinese, I guess, the biggest bird in Asia. And that's related to Mongolian culture as well. That I guess only the most powerful shooters back then, muscular and strength and skills, right? You have to be accurate enough to be able to shoot such big bird. I guess that is also like a super muscular. I guess the vulture probably is not like a top of food chain. Actually, it's a scavenger, but still, it's a pretty flexible, muscular bird that's probably big enough or is iconic enough of a bird to be able to shoot. So that's the imagery he evoked regarding Genghis Khan. So this phrase 弯弓射大雕 then became this ingrained into our culture. Even if the Chinese majority of us probably never touch a bow in our life. But that expression, because Mao, put that expression in his poem. So everybody from that generation knew this expression. They probably still know today, like that's ingrained in them. So this is about how it looks like. And look, it's kind of look like that shape. And we're still, I guess some of us are still preserving that skill to shoot, even if we don't need to hunt for bird. I mean, I talked about a ji, right? It's an enslaved bird. After birds got domesticated, we have this sustained and easy food source. And so shooting for bird was outdated, but still some people, like in this Hunger Game, have no choice but to use the bow. All right, thank you for your time. See you next time.